For coming in. You're on 100.3 FM at the Sounds of MacArthur. Greg Bryant with you for the Aussie Collection Show. It's now time for Acoustics in the Room, and this week we have Linda Mizzi. Welcome to the show.
Hello, how you going?
Good, thanks for coming in.
No problem.
So for those who are unfamiliar, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm based actually in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains. I'm very lucky to live in such a beautiful place. I grew up around Cabramatta, Canley Heights. Dad was from an Italian background, born up north, near Trieste. Mum was a country girl from a little town up near Tamworth called Bingra. So, yeah, that's where about my location. That's where I grew up.
And what made you want to get into music?
Quite possibly, I've thought a lot about this, quite possibly the emotions that music brings. I remember at a very early age recognising like the minor chords and how it made me feel, like sad and happy chords, sad chords. Just basically how what music does to you, the emotions it evokes. I loved harmonies. I'm not like Crosby, Stills and Nash on harmonies, but but I try. My father's a musician. He's a guitarist, and I remember he taught me my first song, which was Puff the Magic Dragon. So he taught me 3 chords, I think it was. And that was on a 1973 Mason, which I actually still have. He's let me have it, which is nice. I suppose I could say my dad got me into music too, because I used to watch him as a youngster. I remember he had an SG under his bed, and it was like the treasure, you know, you'd pull it out under the bed. And I remember the lining of the case was this orange fluffy stuff, and it was this maroon SG, and unfortunately it was stolen. We got robbed, so it was stolen. So I never could have that. Look, I think basically I'm a very sensitive type of person. Music just, it makes me emotional. It like I said, I can listen to a song and from an early age it would make me cry or make me happy, and I love that. I think it's really important.
Well, a lot of the songs I've heard of yours on Facebook has been very emotional. So
yeah, a lot of them are. I get a little bit political sometimes. Sometimes I don't mean to, but I do. I do. I do. We'll talk a little bit about the writing style later, but music's very important to me. Very healing. I think it's great. Yeah.
And what artists have you inspired you over the years?
I grew up watching a lot of musicals, like Western musicals. My dad was always getting me and Mum to watch, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, or Calamity Jane, or Many Rivers to Cross, West Side Story. So I watched a lot of that stuff. But also Dad had an 8-track in the car, and I remember quite fondly listening to a lot of country. He loved country music, so there was sort of Loretta Lynn, Tammy Wynette, Lynn Anderson, Marty Robbins was on there, and he had these 8-track cassettes. I grew up listening to a lot of country stuff, I must admit. Also his background, because of the Italian influence, there were many parties when I was younger. I would listen to a lot of Italian sort of songs, like they'd get around, and his father, and there'd be a lot of harmonies and fun sort of stuff and that, but I never really learnt a lot of that, which is a shame. Love Doris Day. She's just amazing, and I remember having a little Flintstones record player, and I think the first single I had was Que Sera, and I've actually been incorporating that song into our set, sort of doing it our own way. Growing up in high school was different, but because everyone was into Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Skid Row, all that stuff, and I love all types of music. It really didn't do it for me, but I listened to it, and they liked Kiss and that, which was a lot of fun. But I just continued to listen to country music a lot, and I think the reason why is because I like a story. I like things to have a story. I like clever lyric and stories, and I listen to a lot of American. Sorry for the Aussies, but I did listen to a lot of American country music. Sort of loved vocalists like Reba McEntire, Trisha Yearwood, Vince Gill. J.D. Messina, Tanya Tucker, Paddy Loveless, and going back to the stories of country music, I remember when AIDS was quite prevalent in the States, and everyone was sort of, knowing what AIDS was. Reba McEntire sung this song. It was written by Sandy Knox and Steve Ross, and it was called She Thinks His Name Was John. And I remember listening to the story of it and thinking how clever it was. I used to love country music for that. I like, even Townes Van Zandt, like all the, not that he was really country, but I love stories, Over the last 8 years or so, I was kindly introduced to people like Paddy Griffin, Gillingham Welsh and David Rawlings, Eva Cassidy, and one of my favourite, Ricky Lee Jones. And I actually had the opportunity to go and see Ricky Lee Jones at the Basement in February, I think it was, and that's sort of where I decided I wanted to go another direction. I wanted to put a little bit of electric guitar into my stuff. I love Ricky Lee Jones. I think she's wonderful. I think the first song I heard her sing was it was a cover of a Steely Dan song, Showbiz Kids, and I just love the way she interprets stuff. So I take a bit of influence from that. I wouldn't say I'm jazz.
Yeah.
I'm not blues. I'm not country. I'm a bit of a smorgasbord, sort of altogether.
Fusion.
Yeah, pretty much fusion. I don't fit into one box, and I don't know if that's a strength or weakness, but I just sort of do what I do. With the jazz element, people say, it's a bit jazzy, and I'll say, yeah, but even with jazz, I didn't sort of learn from, like a lot of people would listen to Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald. I didn't. There was I used to hang around with a lot of Filipino musicians. I think there's a lot around Campbelltown, actually. Amazing musicians and vocalists. And they introduced me to a woman in the Philippines. I don't know if I say her name right, but it's Kuli Desma. And she's an amazing artist. And that's how I started listening to jazz. She had this album, was called Unforgettable, and it was all these jazz covers, and I would listen to that, and that's how I sort of was introduced to a lot of jazz stuff too. Yeah. So there's a bit of influence there. Anyway, we're waiting for someone, but we might just do a different
love to hear a live track.
Yeah.
What are you going to play first?
It's actually called Chichaha, which is a place in China, and I wrote it for a girlfriend of mine. Her name is Sarah, and one night at the pub, she told me this story, and I was just mesmerised about her travels over there. So, we thought we'd start with that one. Yep.
Take it away.
Thank you. Should have followed me to Burma. We could have saved that fellow man. Instead we chose a heartless commune in another foreign land. We should have settled for philosophy and art by the sea. I could have taught the despondent and learned more of you and me. Now Titty Heart keeps haunting me. Now Titty Heart won't let me sleep. Now Titty Heart keeps haunting me. Now Titty Heart won't let me be. 'Cause the thoughts of you, my dearest friend, the thoughts that I cannot forget, the thoughts nobody would conceive, the thoughts nobody would believe. In Titty Heart I plead, won't you let me leave? I know you follow me to Chukovitz, just another barrier of words. But I felt you in the sunshine. Well, I felt you in the earth. I sought forgiveness in the sun rays, far from streets of Chichahar. I thought I heard you teach me softly through a crow-eyed sky of stars. Now Chichahar keeps haunting me. Now Chichahar won't let me be. Now Chichahar keeps haunting me. Now Chichahar won't let me be. 'Cause the thoughts of you, my dearest friend, the thoughts that I cannot forget, the thoughts nobody would conceive, the thoughts nobody could believe. In Chichahar I plead, won't you let me leave? That day was dark as a waiting tomb. The injustice drove me sane. It was blunt, it was intrusive, in an alien terrain. And a myriad of time went by in a sterilized hallway. I smoked the lager and drank cigarettes with nothing more conveyed. Now Chichahar keeps haunting me. Now Chichahar won't let me be. Now Chichahar keeps haunting me. Now Chichahar won't let me sleep. 'Cause the thoughts of you, my dearest friend, the thoughts that I cannot forget, the thoughts nobody would conceive, the thoughts nobody could believe. In Chichahar I plead, won't you let me live? You should have followed me to Burma. We could have saved that fellow man. Instead I learned my hardest lesson, and it sifted through my hands. In my dreams I go to Burma with nothing more to do. We stand by the river and bid Chichahar adieu.
Linda, Mizzi there, that was beautiful.
Thank you. And I'd like to introduce, I've got Alexander Keller with me, a good friend who, on bass guitar, who's been doing a lot of writing with me. We are waiting for Stefano. He's coming. He's usually very professional, but it's been a lot of rain in the mountains, so he's just running a little bit late.
We're going to take a quick break now and we'll be right back.
No problem.
100.3.
Greg Bryant with you for the Aussie Collection Show, and joining us in the studio for Acoustics in the Room is Linda Mizzi. Welcome back.
Hello.
Now, I'd love to talk about your beautiful writing.
Yeah, great.
What's the process when you write?
I used to think it was a little bit of a weakness that I couldn't sit in a group and write. I don't think I'm a formula writer. I know there's some people that are paid to do that. I just don't think I could. I couldn't sit there and say, right, this is what we're going to write about. This is the topic. This is the time signature. I can't write like that. And I know people, it is their craft and they do that, but I can't do that. Like I said, I don't know if that's a weakness or not. I guess I'm not about always writing commercial hits. I just, I find songwriting a bit divine. People might think I'm a bit silly, but I do. I remember going to Rome and going into the Sistine Chapel with a parallel with art, and walking in there and seeing the artwork and thinking, how is this done? Like, anyone can just like paint, but how is this? And there's a lot of fabulous artists, but this is just has to be some divine thing. Like, it's amazing seeing Michelangelo's works, and that's how I feel when I hear a really well crafted song, where it's just that clever and the melodies are amazing, and we're all out there trying to write like that. Sometimes I'm driving along and all of a sudden I get these melodies and lyrics, or I might wake up in the middle of the night and hear them, and then you just think, where did that come from? And you just say thank you and take it, and I think it's a little bit divine. I find it a spiritual working, but some people might think I'm a bit of a nut, but that's okay. So that's how I feel with writing. I'm self. I don't think it can be. I don't know. People might crucify me for this, but I don't think songwriting can be taught. Sorry to all the people who don't like me saying that, but I don't think it's something you can be taught. You can be taught a technique and a formula as such, but I don't think if it's something from inside, from an experience or something, I don't think that can be taught. But, I might be wrong. Just been wrong before. I'm a self-taught musician. I was always trying to get on a piano when I was little. I never had proper lessons. I sort of do regret that. Lately, with the support of my band members and other people around me, I've been really trying to embrace my own guitar technique and style, and not... What are you doing? My band members are pulling faces at me. I'm trying to embrace that technique, and a lot of people encouraging it. So whether it's right or wrong the way I'm playing, it's my own technique, and I'm learning to love it. Sometimes I am blessed to have people with me, with my band members. I've got Alexander Keller and Stefano Costantino, Lindsay Tabbett. I've got people around me where I can write something, and sure, I could sit here and play it like I just did, or I can go to them and say, look, guys, how can we arrange this? Do you hear brass? Do you hear percussion? What bass lines do you hear? I mean, I can't do that, so that reinforces it, and I'm very blessed to have people to write with where I can feel comfortable to go to them and say, let's make this better, So it still sounds nice, acoustically, but to have everything with the album, for example, it's nice to have everyone's contribution into it, because that's what makes it work,
Yeah. And speaking of an album coming out, what can you tell us about your new album?
Bubbles. It's going to be titled Real People, and we will play that track next. It's been a compilation of songs I've wrote for over the last couple of years or so, some of them even way back 6-7 years ago that have evolved. As I've said before, I'm putting a bit more of an electric feel to it, thanks to Stefano. That's where I really wanted to try that. I'm sort of feeling I'm headed that way now. So a lot of the site, there's probably how many tracks are on it? It's a fair few.
13 at the moment.
It's about 13 at the moment. I've actually got another album. Like, I've just been writing. But we're down to sort of culling it and picking the ones that we want. It should be ready in about 3 weeks. So very, very excited about it. We've been very blessed to have Lindsay Tebbit from the Choir Boys play on it. He's a good friend of ours, and he's not choir boying. he's helping us out, and he really has taken so much time and effort into my songs, and I thank him so much for it. It's really funny because we sort of say Tebbit's gone a little bit jazz. He even bought some brushes, So it's been really lovely. When we were recording in the studio, I was just watching him, and he was just taking so much time and care with a lot of my tracks. So I'm very grateful to Lindsay.
Yeah.
Where he can join us, he will. Where he can't, we're also very blessed to have Ian Morrison play drums with us also when Lindsay can't. Ian was from Lyman Still, a very successful folk band in the mountains. So we've been blessed to have him too. Yeah.
And do you have any shows that are coming up that people can see you play at?
We just got back from Malden in a lot of the festival circuit now, which I'm very excited to say. It's really where I'd like to be headed. We all would like to get in the festivals, and it's nice because you can share your original stuff. There's not many places where you can just share your original music. So the festivals are wonderful. We've just come back from Malden in Victoria. We're headed up to... Headed up to Golgong. In Malden, Pam Lyons was the director up in Malden. That was a great festival. It's in a great little town. Coming up, we've got the Golgong Folk Festival from the 29th to the 31st of December. Marcus McClellan's the festival director for that one. And headlining are the Bushwhackers, which will be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But you can look up the Golgong Festival on Facebook or website. It's a great little festival, great little town if you've never been there, up near Mudgee. And super, super excited to announce, to have just announced that we've been accepted to the Blue Mountains Music Festival. That's 16th, 17th and 18th of March next year. When I got the email from Bob Charter, I was just so ecstatic. I was
exciting,
very, very happy. And one of the big headliners is Missy Higgins, so I'm very, very excited for that festival.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, very fortunate.
And but where can people go if they want to find more information about you or your music and your gigs?
I've got a website. It's sort of a work in progress. I haven't really put it out there too much at the moment. Just lindamizzi.com.au, or you can find me on Facebook. It's a public page there.
Yeah.
Or lindamizzi2002@yahoo.com. That's my email address. Yeah.
I'd love to hear another live track.
Yeah. Well, this one's the title track of the album. It's called Real People. And I'll just sit back and have a little sing.
Take it away.
You've got a bee in your bonnet, baby, and that bee is me. Can't decipher your calling. Are you in chains or free? You've got a cross in your pocket. That ironic truth, 'cause you question the others, but you're still needing proof. And all that hole, it won't fill you. All that hole, it won't do you. All that hole is gonna fool you. All that hole, it won't do you. Give me real, real, real people. Well, unearthing real smiles, well, I dare say you fail. It's like trying to find the Holy Grail. You've got your rhinestone sandals with your pedicure art, but the soles of your feet are as black as your heart. And all that hole, it won't fill ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. All that hole is gonna fool ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. Give me real, real, real people. Give me real people. Give me real people. Give me real people. Give me real people. There's a hidden agenda in an open recluse, but you'll never feel it 'cause you ain't got a clue what it's like to be lonely and to just go without, and to still be as stoic as a bird who flies south. And all that hole, it won't fill ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. All that hole is gonna fool ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. And all that hole, it won't fill ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. All that hole is gonna fool ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. All that hole, it won't fill ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. All that hole is gonna fool ya. All that hole, it won't do ya. Give me real, real, real people.
100.3 Linda Mizzi, that was beautiful again. I could listen to you sing all day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, no problem. Just introduced Stefano Constantino on guitar, and once again Alexander Keller on bass guitar.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you both for coming. And do you think we can finish with one more?
Yeah, for sure. We've just about put this one down. It's a bit of fun. A bit more for the country folk, I guess. It's all about... My mum comes from a little town, as I said, called Bingra up near Tamworth, and we go there every year. I call it my sort of detox 2 week... 2 week... What's wrong with you? Yeah, okay. 2 week...
Just banter chat.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Banter. We go there for 2 weeks of a year, and I love it because I just read and sit in the sun, and people say, how boring? And I go, it's not boring, you just detox, you know? You just, yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. But when I get there, it's really funny because, well, they'll come from the mountains. When you go there, Sydney people got it so wrong. We just rush and rush and rush and rush. And when I get to Bingra, everyone's like, you're at the IGA, and everyone's like, really, hello. And you think, hurry up, hurry up. And then you realise we've got it wrong and they've got it right. You know, we need to slow down a little bit. So this song's sort of an idea of a young couple in a country town sort of trying to make ends meet, and you know, it's sort of they do what they do to make ends meet. So it's called What We Do. Oh, hang on, got to put it down. Capo too. The boys have a go at me because I like using my capo, and they go, what key is it in? I go, I don't know, capo 2, capo 4. Capo 2. Okay. Baby's gonna make a little living down at the circus stand. Well, he ain't no scholar, but for the extra dollar, he'll use his big, strong heels. Baby's gonna make a little living down by Chelsea Road. Well, she'll sell cut flowers for a few small hours and leave the sweet smell on her clothes. And they can make ends meet with a good strong love, and all the gifts they have from the Lord above will find their place when the time is due. But for now they'll do what they have to do right now. They'll do what they do. Baby's gonna make a little living down at the old folks' home. Well, there's milk, honey, biscuits, a little money for his fixings, and smiles all around when he's done. And maybe she can make a little living down at the local store. Well, she'll make big talk with the people who are small minded about it all. And they can make ends meet with a good strong love, and all the gifts they have from the Lord above will find their place when the time is due. But for now they'll do what they have to do right now. They'll do what they do. Maybe they can make a little living playing songs on their guitar. Well, for a few small coins, some say, what is the point? But the joy's been filling up their jar, and they can make ends meet with a good strong love, and all the gifts they have from the Lord above will find their place when the time is due. But for now they'll do what they have to do right now. They'll do what they do. Will find their place when the time is due. But for now they'll do what they have to do right now. They'll do what they do. Will find their place when the time is due. But for now they'll do what they have to do right now. They'll do what they do.
Linda Mizzi there on 100.3. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
100.3